Hey, I'm Bryan, and I'm here to talk to you about what it means to be a good facilitator for T.B.D, a new small group curriculum for teenagers from Spark House. So T.B.D is based around the idea that faith is this ongoing process in the life of a student. It's not something that you can just slap a worksheet down in front of them about prayer or grace or whatever it is. They fill it out and then, all right, they're set, we've got the idea for the rest of their life, they're solid and they're good. Instead, T.B.D says, we're going to acknowledge the fact that these kids, these teenagers that are working through this are on a faith journey. They're on a faith process that's going to be constantly changing throughout their time in high school, into college, and even as adults. It's something that's ongoing, it's never ending, and we want to honor that. And so what T.B.D does, it says, come into this group, come into this small group and say, we're talking about prayer today, and we're going to start with these provocative statements. So the provocative statements are something that are meant to get the students talking. It's meant to be something that they probably have a little bit of an inkling about, that they have some experiences on, something that they can come in right away and just from the very beginning get going on. And so maybe the provocative statement is, there's a right way to pray. And so I walk into that room and I think, well, of course there's a right way to pray. Another person walks into the room and says, there's not a right way to pray. And then a third person walks into the room and is like, I think prayer is dumb. And all of those are meant to be valued and honored and given worth at this beginning part of the curriculum. Now, this might seem a little bit risky, and this is one of the reasons why we use facilitator rather than leader. We think leader is the idea of somebody who stands up in front of the group and says, okay, we're going to learn about this today, and here's the learning goal, here's the learning objective, and here's how we're going to end this lesson. Well, T.B.D kind of turns that over to the students. It says, what's important to you in your life right now? And as the facilitator, we can't be too worried about where this lesson is going necessarily, instead of trying to honor the fact that we're having this discussion, we're seeing where it's headed, and we're trying to pull as much connective tissue, put it together for students as we can. Now, while this is risky, it's ultimately one of those things that as a facilitator, you kind of have to start to get okay with the idea that there might not be an answer that happens in every single lesson. Because what we're doing, instead of giving them that answer, and there might be answers, you might have kids who are like, you know what? Bryan, I've never talked about prayer in this way, and you are the best youth worker I've ever had. It happens. But it might also be the thing at the end of it, it's like, you know what? I still have some questions, and I'm still thinking about that. And I think that's what it makes being a facilitator rather than a leader really important for T.B.D. Because what we're doing is we're handing over the theology, we're handing over their own faith and their journeys that they're on back to the students that are in your group, and we're saying, here, we trust you with this. You might not have all the answers right now, but I don't have the answers right now, and your parents don't have the answers right now. And in this moment, what can you say that's honest and true and real about your faith right now? And we honor that. And if they can make that statement at the end of every T.B.D lesson, then we invite them back for the next one with the knowledge that this might change completely. They might talk about prayer next year, and they might be in a completely different place. But what that does is it teaches them that faith is not something that's static, but it is something that's ongoing, something that will be changing because, the way they experience God and the way they experience the world is going to be constantly changing as well.